And so that's the problem, right? So they don't offer people anything. We all know this, right? Barack Obama governs like a right-wing Mitt Romney, and they don't offer people anything to make their lives better. We now have tent cities all over, everywhere in the country, and now this is what they want people to vote for. Here we go.
Pennsylvania. The New York Times writes there are widespread worries that the momentum in Pennsylvania and in other key Rust Belt states could screech to a halt if the issues in the 2020 presidential primaries and the party's eventual nominee stray too far left for the region's many centrist voters. The piece quotes,
"Oh, boy, if only we could run an experiment to see what would work. If only we could get a fucking centrist and run them against Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. I wonder how that would turn out.
And he mentioned Pennsylvania. Is that the same Pennsylvania that just elected a super lefty DA and just elected 2 card-carrying DSA members to city council in Pittsburgh?
That is correct.
That Pennsylvania? I think it's that one.
Yeah, Philadelphia has that super progressive DA.
Yep.
The Black Lives Matter lawyer who became DA. Yeah, Pennsylvania. You don't want to go. You don't want to go left.
2 DSA members in city council now.
So here's what more shit they say.
Former Pennsylvania governor and former Democratic National Committee chairman Ed Rendell saying, the more we have presidential candidates or newly elected congresspeople talking about the Green New Deal, talking about Medicare for all, talking about socialism, the more that plays into the Trump campaign's hands.
And these motherfuckers, their message is, don't fight for shit you believe in. Don't fight for shit you believe in. Vote for us. We're not going to fight for shit you believe in. That's not a winning strategy, fuckface. This is Medicare for all, something every other Western country has figured out fucking decades ago. But to Ed Rendell, it's a goddamn Rubik's Cube. What? How does this matter? How do you give people medicine and it's cheaper? I don't understand. What the fuck? And everybody, if you just get sick, you just go get wet. I don't understand. And so I don't. How do you do this?
0 bankruptcies? What are you talking about? You can't have that.
This is the equivalent. I love the Democratic Party today is the equivalent of like JFK going, putting a man on the moon by the end of the decade, little too hard to do. All right?
We gotta do it incrementally.
It's a purity test end of the decade. Let's not go crazy. Rosa Parks, just incrementally move your way to the front of the bus. Don't just sit there, just one row at a time for a couple of years. Just stop rocking the boat.
So here comes Ed Rendell. He's going to say some stupid shit.
Governor Rendell joins me now. Governor, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. How do you square this?
Boy, if that doesn't look like the face of progress.
Oh my God. Is that Alexander Haig's little brother? Like...
Jesus Christ.
This looks like progress is dead.
Yeah. They brought back Mr. Potter.
How many hookers has he killed at a country club? You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. I mean that in a nice way.
You once said I was nothing more than a warped, frustrated old man. Well, look at you. What are you? Nothing more than a warped, frustrated young man. I'm calling the bank examiners for an award for your arrest.
Because the Democratic base is riled up. 41%, according to a recent poll, 41% of Democrats want the party to be more progressive or more liberal. A larger number want the party to be more moderate. But boy, those are tight numbers when you're talking about 40% on one side and a little more than 50% on the other side. How do you square this?
Well, I think people, you got to ask the right question, Alan.
I bet we're gonna lose again. I just have that feeling.
Question is, do you want Washington to get things done? I think when you frame it that way, 75% of Democrats, maybe 85% would say yes.
Did you see? He said if you frame it this way, do you want to vote for someone who can get something done? Then 85, what? Like, I guess progressives, remember FDR didn't get anything done? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, the New Deal was, just a centrist platitude. That's what I think he did. That's how he got us out of the Depression. FDR.
Look at how tired he looks. I need a cup of coffee just looking at him. He's so sleepy.
I've been spewing Wall Street bullshit for so long that I've fallen, my head has fallen permanently to the right.
I am human ambient.
I conducted a poll that was funded by Goldman Sachs, and it says, I don't know, I'm just going to pick a number out of the goddamn sky. 85% of all rich people agree that I should say something profound and emphatic and raise my hand like that.
Here we go.
Who will not mislead the public. The Green New Deal, for example, everyone supports the overall goals, but the top.
Everyone supports the overall goals of the Green. You know what the overall goal of the Green New Deal is? That we don't fucking die. That would be the overall. That would be the overall goal. And he agrees with it, but we're gonna have to die. We'd like to not die, but that costs a lot of money.
Frame doesn't work, and the cost factor would be significant. Medicare for all, under certain circumstances, could work, but it hasn't worked in states that tried it, including.
But it's worked everywhere else in the fucking world. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about Vermont. Let's talk about something else.
Bernie Sanders is Vermont. You know, of course, that Vermont repealed it after 2 years because it just cost too much, and they couldn't raise enough taxes to support it. So what we don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, how the fuck are we going to afford a healthcare system that costs less money? Where are you going to get less money from? Who's going to not pay for it?
Do is lose the 2020 election. Donald Trump cannot win the 2020 election. I think 2018.
I think he's going to wipe your fucking ass. All right, I'll tell you that. If you ran against him, he'd beat your fucking ass. That's right.
But that he was rebuffed by over 9 million more voters voting for Democrats for Congress than Republicans. He can only be elected president again, be reelected, if we lose it. If we lose it by coming out with enough statements and enough positions that the voters get scared and say, well, we don't want to be a socialist government either. Donald Trump used that term in his State of the Union speech very craftily. He's going to try to paint the Democratic Party as a socialist party.
So let me ask you this.
Get away with it?
If you
Yeah, people are cool with socialism, by the way. I don't know if you know that, Ed. I know you're 100 years old, but people now understand that socialism means they can go to a doctor when they get sick. That's
The state that has the most new DSA chapters is Texas. It's just the fucking Democrats, if they ran hard left, could fucking crush everybody.
I agree.
If they ran a populist, working class, socialist platform like, I don't know, FDR fucking did, they would never lose. Instead we gotta listen to this guy go, I haven't worked since 1918 was the last time I didn't have a corporate guy paying for my blowjobs. So...
look at the Green New Deal. To some, and I'm not making the argument, but I've heard the argument that this is in response to an administration that doesn't accept the reality of climate change. When you look at Medicare for All, it's in response to an administration and a Republican Congress that has worked to undo Obamacare without coming up with something that is a better replacement. So to the extent that people are so frustrated by what this administration is doing, and they want somebody who will hold that banner, who will carry that banner, does moderation work? Will it get enough people out to vote to support Democrats?
I mean, he's saying people are really frustrated, Ed. I don't know if you hear that, but if you keep promising them half a loaf of bread, they're not going to vote for you again. So Ali Vesci who's also a corporate tool. He's on it though on this question, and he's making a good point. Let's hear what Fuckface says.
Moderation that tells voters the truth will work. Donald Trump.
He said a moderate candidate who tells the truth will work. I guess Hillary Clinton was a big fucking liar then, Ed. Is that what you're saying? Single payer will never come to pass.
Lied to his voters. He lied to those blue-collar voters in Pennsylvania when he said he was going to have their interest at heart. That tax bill didn't have their interest at heart. The things he's done on overtime and workers' rights doesn't have their interest at heart. We can't be guilty of the same thing. We've got to tell people what can and can't be done. Look, I would love all of our electricity to be done from renewables. I worked hard in Pennsylvania to reach that goal, or to start us down the path to that goal. But we can't do it by 2030. The experts say maybe 2045. And we've got to talk.
I think we could probably do it 5 years after we all die. Or maybe 2 years after Florida goes underwater. I'm not sure exactly, but we can't do it before then. That's for fucking sure.
Honestly to the people. I would love free college for everyone, but as Amy Klobuchar said, we simply can't afford free college.
What a gaslighting motherfucker this guy is. And this is why the Democrats suck the biggest cock I've ever seen, because this is bullshit. We can't afford free college? $700 billion for bombs? Of fucking course we can. We're spending $200 billion more on the Pentagon than we were at the height of the Iraq War. That would pay for free college and homelessness, and you'd still have $100 billion left over. So fuck you, Ed Rendell. Next live Jimmy Dore show is June 5th. That's a Wednesday at Hermosa Beach Comedy Club in Hermosa Beach, California. Go to jimmydoorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets. We might be coming to your town. And if you love the show, please become a patron. Please support the show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. And please click that bell and make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are already subscribed, they unsubscribe people every day. Just check. Thanks for your support.